How should Jimmy G feel after that?
I mean, honestly, Jimmy G know what it is. Like, he can look at this situation and see everything that's unfolding around him. He's been in this position before when he was in New England and he backed up Tom and he played for 4 games and the world was calling his name and calling for Tom's head. He know what that felt like. He know what that energy felt like. And now the shoe is on the other foot. 4 years later, some injuries, some good play, some spot play in and out. Of course, things could have been better for Jimmy G and more consistent. But this is just the nature of the NFL, and that answer that Kyle Shanahan gave, it was classic. But Jimmy G has to look himself in the mirror and look at all the things that he's done right and he's done wrong. And, everybody says, accountability is the most important thing in football, especially at the quarterback position, availability. And Jimmy G hasn't been available. But for the most part, he's been consistent in his play, and I like the things that he's done. But when I was a backup quarterback when I was a starting quarterback and Andy Reid went out and drafted Nick Foles in the 3rd round and they went out and when I was in Atlanta and they drafted Matt Schaub in the 3rd, I looked at it as competition, but at the same time, keeping my competition behind me, making them better and focusing on what I could do moving forward. And that's making sure that the football team was in good hands. So that's what Jimmy G got to focus on. Focus on himself. Forget about the circus going on around him.
But Mike, come on. They didn't draft Schaub or they didn't draft Cobb in the 3rd round thinking they're going to replace Mike Vick. They didn't do that. This organization is literally saying we're drafting this guy and he's going to play. We don't know if it's going to be week 1. We don't know if it's going to be week 6. Like, they're saying that. That they're moving on. So this is a big difference. Back in the day, when we first got in the league, they would draft quarterbacks even in the 1st round, top of the 1st round, and they would sit with the expectation that they're going to sit for a year, 2 years. Look at Aaron Rodgers. He sat for a couple years now. He went, at the end of the 1st round. But things have changed now. So my question really, Nick, is like, where's Jimmy G? Because if I'm Jimmy G, I'm okay with coming in and competing. I'm okay with coming in and helping the guy develop. But when you literally tell me that I'm moving on from you this Sunday or maybe in a preseason, maybe it's week 4, then I'm going to look at the business. It's no more about team. It's no more about, the football stuff. It's about the business. What's best for me? So where's Jimmy G? I went on his Instagram account. He hasn't posted since last year. I haven't seen any, pictures of him hanging out with guys, training with guys, or on the island or anywhere. I want to hear from Jimmy G,
in the lab.
Nick. That's what I want to hear. Where is he at? What
Mike might be
know.
right that he's in the lab working. He's he is keeping it quiet for those next team can be excited because at this point it is about his next team. And the Atlanta comp that I would give is because I think Brandon's right. Nobody drafted Matt Schaub to replace Mike Vick. But once Mike was gone from Atlanta and Atlanta drafted Matt Ryan, guess what Matt Schaub knew? Oh, I'm out of here. And he ended up going down to the Houston Texans, I think with Kyle Shanahan as it happened. Like sometimes oh, this isn't to compete with me. This isn't to back me up. This is to replace me. And I just think the Niners have screwed up the timing of this, Wilds. Because, listen, I don't think Darnold is necessarily going to work, but Carolina now has him and they have the 8th pick. I don't know if I love Wentz in Indy or not, but he's there now. I don't know if I love Goff in Detroit, but he's there now. So you look around the league and you say, other than the teams like Jacksonville and New York, the Jets, that is, who are obviously taking quarterbacks at the top of the draft, who needs a quarterback? Chicago does, no matter what QB1 Instagram they put out there. New England very well might. Washington, I feel, does. And Denver does. But Denver's probably going to draft one. New England might draft one. If they don't, I feel that the Niners needed to make the move with Jimmy earlier. Because now, who is offering a first-round pick when I thought that's what he would go for? And how depressed has the market become, I think, greatly. And I think the Niners did that to themselves.
Yeah, that's right. Second-round pick for Jimmy G. And Brandon, if you're wondering where Jimmy G is, he's on Trulia looking up Foxborough real estate to come back home and lead the Patriots' brand new dynasty, bunch of free agents, bunch of opt-outs coming back in. His old buddy Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels. We are back. And I think you're 100% right, Brandon, because I know the criticism is like, oh, be a professional, be a professional. Buddy, he is being a professional. He has said nothing because God knows this thing could be ugly. He could put out a little like Russell Wilson list. Here's where I want to go. Oh, let me look at the 4 teams. New England 4 times circled. So I think he needs to get out immediately. The fact that he hasn't said anything, Brandon, means that I assume this is working behind the scenes. And the idea that he would have any success or could compete for the job, I think is out the window. We saw what happened to your boy Fitzmagic. He was winning. And like, you know what?
Right.
Spend a high draft pick on Tua. We got to put him in regardless. Maybe we'll get you in the fourth quarter a few times. But that's it. There's nothing Jimmy G can do to win this job. The guy has done a wonderful job there. Kyle Shanahan doesn't care. Talking about maybe we can't guarantee that anyone's alive on Saturday is just ridiculous. Jimmy G needs to get out of there immediately.
I disagree with you, KW. I don't think New England's an option. Why would it be? I mean, you might as well double down on Cam Newton. You have another year with him. You have an offseason. You just got some more weapons, and you're going to draft a guy. So why are you going to go get Jimmy G when you know you're going to draft a guy and he could potentially take over at the end of this year or next year? And then what's happening in San Francisco, I think they convinced Jimmy G. I don't think Jimmy G has his business cap on. Now, yeah, we don't know the things and the conversations that are happening behind the scenes, but everything that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan is saying, I actually applaud, because they're transparent of being real, and that's what a player wants. Like, give me the truth. If you don't think I'm a baller, tell me I'm not a baller. If you think I'm injury prone, then tell me that. That's what players want. There's too many times, Jenna, where these general managers and these coaches, they talk around you. And so I think it's time for Jimmy G to put his business cap on because they convinced this dude that he can come in and lead the way and, if you stay healthy, you can continue to be our quarterback. But when you draft a guy at 3, it's over. So Jimmy G needs to put his business cap on, Mike.
Here's the situation with Jimmy G. 1, he's already got paid. He's already got his money. 2, Jimmy G can play. He can play the game of football. He understands
Mike.
ins and outs of any offense that he's played in. So he has potential that I think still is untapped, and he can go elsewhere. Or even if he stays in San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan said it in his presser, we can win with a guy like Jimmy G on Sundays. That he's confident in. Moving forward, it all remains to be seen if it's a guy who's going to take over. But when a move like this happens and when it's this type of jogging taking place, it's to get his attention. It's to say, look, we're bringing in a young guy. Get yourself together. Get on the field. Get healthy. Play for us. Earn your money. Take us to the playoffs or the Super Bowl possibly like you did a couple years ago. And that's what Jimmy G's facing right now.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.